Okay everybody, this is Mooney-Dashcam. If you enjoy these videos, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. I also have an Instagram and TikTok that are both at Mooney-Dashcam. I post daily on both of those. Alright, so today we are in Coney Island. We're in Brooklyn, the very southern tip of Brooklyn that you could possibly go. It's technically now it's not an island, it's a peninsula, but back when it was named Coney Island, there was a canal that ran in between the mainland and Coney Island. Alright, so Coney Island has a subsection in it called Seagate, but we won't be going into Seagate today because it's a private community. There's gates all around it, hence the name Seagate. But we will be driving around Coney Island. So the borders of Coney Island are Seagate to the west, Brighton Beach to the east, which is also technically a part of Coney Island, Gravesend of Brooklyn to the north, and the lower New York Bay to the south. It's not a very big area, it's 0.691 square miles, so just over a half mile big. Half a square mile, however that works out. 32,000 residents. It's not too crazy. 27% poverty rate, which is a little bit above the rest of Brooklyn and New York City. The average is like 21%. We're gonna make a left here. We're gonna go see more of the amusement park area. By the other side of the water, to the right is the water, and also to the left is the water. It's on both sides. We're heading south now on West 30th. Oh, that was a nice bump. Alright, so it was settled in the 17th century by the Dutch. Jumping around a little bit here. But the median income is like $39,000. The real boom of Coney Island really peaked before World War II. After that, there was a shortage of materials, and I forget there was another big reason. Jones Beach was a big reason why people were not coming to Coney Island anymore. So, the reason why it's named Coney Island is that they don't really exactly know why. It's possibly from the Coney tribe of Native Americans that lived here. Coney meaning bear band. And then they also think it might be from the last name of a known Dutch settler family here. C-O-N-Y-N. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that. Maybe Conyan. I'm not sure. Or the Dutch word for rabbit, because apparently there are a lot of wild rabbits out here. Not anymore, but there were. Which is C-O-N-I-J-N. I don't know how you pronounce that. I don't know. But that's also one of the theories. All these don't really have a lot of evidence, and there's a few more theories also that don't have a lot of evidence behind them. It's kind of an argued topic. Where this guy park here. So yeah, at one point, this area was so packed that somebody was quoted saying that there's more space in a coffin than there is on Coney Island. There were just amusement things in the middle of the street, sideshows, brothels, anything you could think of. Right ahead, you could actually see the boardwalk. But anything you could think of that would attract people here was here. The beach, actually, this Coney Island is, the whole southern border is a beach. It's naturally made. Not naturally made, sorry, it's man-made, which I didn't realize. Back in like the 30s, they dumped a bunch of sand there, and they had to redid it in the 90s, and then after Hurricane Sandy, I'm sure they had to do it again. Here are some huge apartment complexes. Look at this stuff. Oh, actually, that's not an apartment complex. That is Seagate Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. So yeah, between 1880 and World War II, this was the largest amusement area in the U.S., attracting several million visitors a year. pretty crazy to think that now it's kind of all apartment buildings and stuff. I'll make a right down one of these roads so you can see the boardwalk. Maybe this one right here. Let's see. I also came down here after Hurricane Sandy, and it was like a bomb went off. It was really, really sad, to be honest. Here's the boardwalk. And you can see under the boardwalk, there's a little bit of sand there. I'm gonna have to turn around. But when I came here, all you could see after Sandy were concrete pillars. There was no boardwalk at all, just the concrete pillars that at one time supported it, and debris of anything and everything all over. It was super depressing to see that. But the main parks at the time, in the kind of the high traffic time, were there were 3 competing parks: Luna Park, Dreamland, not Dreamland Park, and Steeplechase Park. It was like the huge attraction because there was all new technology. There were electric lights, roller coasters, and I don't know why this was added in the article, but baby incubators for newborns. We're talking about amusement parks here. I don't know why that was in there, but I figured I'd throw it in. Why not? And it was kind of more of a resort area, not really as much of an amusement, like day trip area, until the Brooklyn Bridge was built, which made access through railroads to Manhattan way easier. So it made it easier to do just as a day trip to avoid the Manhattan heat. You come out here, hang out the day with your family, maybe a weekend, and you shoot back to Manhattan afterwards, or any part of Brooklyn. And yeah, that was one of the main reasons people came here back then. Alright. Now up a little farther to the right is where the amusement parks start more. Probably a few blocks more. But yeah, at one point this was all amusement parks, no buildings, like I said before. One of the craziest things that was here was called the Elephantine Colossus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it was a 7-story elephant building that included a brothel. And it was actually one of the first things that immigrants that were coming to New York saw, even before the Statue of Liberty. That's just what they saw on the coastline. They saw this huge elephant. Can you imagine coming to New York and that's the first thing you see? You'd almost be like, what am I getting into here? This big circus. And then you saw the huge Statue of Liberty, which is another crazy sight to see. Okay, if I was to make a right here, there's a big tent area. I don't really know what's under there. We're going to be passing also MCU Park. Looks like a big soccer field. Yep, MCU Park. I'll aim the cameras that way. So when you drive by, you get a better feel. So yeah, there was this huge elephant structure there, and then it was actually taken down in 1896. And there were frequent fires in the area. I don't exactly know why. Maybe due to all the electronics and faulty stuff going on. But there were like 3 major fires. The worst of all was in 1932, and it left 1,000 people homeless. As crazy as that sounds. Now, some of the more main attractions here are the Wonder Wheel. These are actually landmark attractions, so like historically recognized attractions. The Wonder Wheel was built in 1920. The B&B Carousel was built in 1909, relocated a bunch of times. You can see now we're passing some of the more amusement stuff. That right there is the Thunderbolt, that big roller coaster we're seeing. That was built in 2014, but the original one was wooden and was built in 1995. They had to demolish that and redo it. There's the famous Nathan's Hot Dogs building. And then, yeah, the Cyclone, which was built in 1927. The oldest wooden roller coaster still in operation. It's considered irreplaceable because the current standards don't allow for a wood-supported roller coaster anymore in New York. So you can see that's the famous Nathan's building. Here are some other buildings that are old and well-known. My first experience coming to Coney Island, it was like a big fun thing. We actually came to the New York Aquarium, which originally was in Battery Park in 1896 and moved to Coney Island in 1957. But we came to see the aquarium and to see some of the sights, and I was expecting this big amusement park, great area, which it is, of course, but the first thing I saw was a homeless guy with his pants fully down on the ground, peeing into a corner, like right here in front of the Nathan's. I was like, oh, that's cool. So that was one of my first big sights. My great-grandfather, actually, when he was young, and he was born in the 1910s, this speaks to how long ago this was. He rode the Cyclone. So, crazy. Yeah, here's the amusement parks. The two amusement parks that are around right now are Dino's Wonder Wheel Amusement Park and Luna Park. That's actually still around. It kind of looks like out of a scene of like a zombie movie where like no one's really around. Obviously, no, it's a little cold right now. It's not really the season for this. It's October 20th right now. But yeah, it just feels weird. It feels like an abandoned area. There's a go-karting spot. I think that's the Wonder Wheel right there, if you can see it out the corner. All these different sideshows and all that kind of stuff still goes on. Not as much, nearly. Hangman Challenge. Can you hang? Oh, probably how long can you hang on a bar? There's an arcade in there. Yeah, that's the arcade that's attached to Nathan's. I've been in there before. BMT lines. These are the subway station. Oh, can you see any of this over here? Just a lot of history in this area. I actually couldn't put all the history down to tell you guys because it would have been like a 45-minute boring lecture on how many rezonings, which places burned down, and which places got demolished and rebuilt, and proposals of different stuff that got taken. It is just crazy the amount of stuff that went on. There were, at one point, the amusement parks went all the way to the beach, and they had to demolish a bunch of amusement parks to push back, so there was actually some beach and some boardwalk because the city wanted a boardwalk. A lot of crazy stuff. We're going to finish out the end of this little run here and we'll wrap up the video because there's more amusement parks like 2 blocks to the right. See how old school these buildings are. Shooting gallery. Look at the art. Crazy. Now you have to think these are super old buildings. These buildings withstand it through Sandy. Never mind all the stuff that happened before that. There's numerous storms and all that kind of crazy stuff. I believe, yep, that's the Wonder Wheel. That was built in 1920. That's still the same one. These have just never been recovered since Sandy. Luna Arcade. So this is Luna Park. And then right here is the Cyclone. Which I can't remember if I was a kid if I ever went on it. I don't think my parents really wanted me to go on it. It's like a very rickety, old thing. I'm sure there's been a bunch of repairs, but it was built in 1927. I don't know if anyone really wants their kid going on that. This is the New York Aquarium. Actually a really nice aquarium. When I was young, I was there. I don't know if I really agree with aquariums anymore, but it was fun while I was younger. And then that's pretty much it. We passed all of the main amusement parks. So that's everything I have to show you about Coney Island. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Also, like I mentioned before, I have an Instagram and TikTok if you want to follow those. Posting on their daily content. Yeah, that's it. Leave me suggestions in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you